John Sorenson was born at Thames in the Coromandel in 1875 to a single mother, but grew up in Auckland where he was fostered by the Diamond family. By 1900 he was living in North East Valley, Dunedin, and working as a horse groom. New Zealand had just sent its first troops to an overseas conflict, the Anglo-Boer War in South Africa. 2 further contingents had followed, and John had travelled to Christchurch in a quest to join the 3rd contingent there, but narrowly missed selection. Then the call went out for volunteers to join a 4th contingent of mounted troopers, mainly recruited from and funded by the people of Otago and Southland. An excellent horseman, John volunteered and was accepted for service as one of the representatives of the Caversham borough, its citizens paying for his equipment and giving him a horse called Corstorphine. Before leaving Dunedin, however, John swapped this horse for a better mount donated by local manufacturers McLeod Brothers, and took this steed with him to South Africa, where it performed impressively. The 4th contingent, popularly known as the Rough Riders, sailed for South Africa at the end of March 1900, stopping off at Durban before landing at Beira. This was a settlement in Portuguese East Africa described by historian Don Mackay as a seedy, pestilential coastal town. John seemed happy enough with Beira in a letter he wrote home to his brother in Auckland, describing hanging out with the Australian troops, catching snakes, and having to calm the horses after a lion made an appearance in the middle of the night. The colonial troops had been diverted to the north to join a Rhodesian field force, whose task was to prevent aid reaching the Boers through Rhodesia. The next few months saw them frequently on the move without any significant engagements with the enemy in a frustrating cross-country hunt for Boer guerrillas. They had their first taste of action at Utershop, near the Transvaal border, on 16 August 1900, when they cornered a group of Boer fighters on the hillside. John was in the fray when Dunedin officer Captain John Harvey was killed as they attempted a bayonet attack. The 4ths were in the thick of action in Transvaal for the rest of that year, chasing constantly moving Boer forces under their skillful commander, Koos de la Rey. John was killed in action at Zeerust on 18 October 1900, and a fellow trooper wrote home describing the details of his death.
John Sorenson was holding a kopje with a number of others at the time of his death. He was on the lookout in the early dawn and did not notice 3 or 4 Boers who had crept up under cover of darkness and fired upon him when they saw that he had seen them. They only wounded him at first, but fired a second volley, killing him outright, 5 wounds being found upon his body. 1 bullet had gone through his head, and another through his pouch, which was filled with ammunition. None of the Boers lived to tell the tale, as the remainder of our men rushed up and shot them, giving them an extra volley to make sure of them.
John was 25 and one of only 4 members of the 4th contingent to die in action. He was buried in the Zeerust Municipal Cemetery.